Hello, my name is Erica Starling. Jessica Brady and I created a PowerPoint for NU 712 Clinical Prevention and Population Health entitled Put It Out, Smoking Cessation. The objectives for this PowerPoint are noted as: what is smoking? What are the demographics being assessed? What are the prevention plans, and which ones will be discussed? What are the risk factors associated and diseases that are caused by smoking? Other objectives discussed are what defines a smoking cessation plan and how is it used to help quit smoking, and also proposing a plan with an example. The definition of smoking is the inhalation of the smoke of burned tobacco. It may occur at occasional times or habitually. Smoking is a consequence of a physical addiction to nicotine and other chemicals that are in the tobacco. In this PowerPoint, the demographics discussed are patients at least 18 years of age or older. Both male and female adults of all races and ethnicities are considered together as one population. Understanding how diseases are developed are vital in order to plan and implement a framework for disease prevention and control. There are 3 types of prevention plans. The first one is primary prevention, which is used to reduce exposure and susceptibility to diseases. The next prevention plan is secondary prevention, which is when diseases are being detected and prompt treatment is being issued. The last prevention plan is tertiary prevention, which is implemented when the disease is prevalent. The goal is to alleviate disability and restore function as much as possible. Tertiary prevention will be implemented in this discussion. Tertiary prevention is implemented during the middle and late stages of a disease. The attempts are to slow progression, restore function, and to possibly cure the disease. If there are permanent damages, then a plan is implemented to maximize the use of the remaining capabilities and lead a productive life. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention notes that smoking is the leading cause of disease and disability. It also harms almost every organ in the body. They also note that it is the leading cause of preventable death. One article study notes that tobacco smoking is the leading cause of cancer, yet it is the most preventable cause of cancer in the entire world. Healthy People 2020 note a multitude of risk factors and diseases. One of the first listed is cancer, and which cancer smoking may cause. The Healthy People 2020 note that other diseases may be caused by cigarette smoking. These include heart disease, stroke, and lung diseases such as emphysema, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, pneumonia, and bronchitis. Other diseases include diabetes, blindness, and cigarette smoking may also increase the risk of arthritis. Smoking cigarettes may cause problems with reproduction. In females, it can cause ectopic pregnancy, premature birth, lower birth weights, and stillbirths. It may reduce fertility in women and cause birth defects including cleft lip and/or cleft palate. In males, smoking may cause erectile dysfunction. The harmful effects of tobacco do not end with the user. There is no risk-free level of exposure to secondhand smoke. Since 1964, 2.5 million deaths have occurred among non-smokers who died from diseases caused by secondhand smoke exposure. Secondhand smoke may cause heart disease, stroke, and lung disease in adult non-smokers. Children and infants who are around secondhand smoke may have increased risk of severe asthma, respiratory infections, ear infections, and sudden infant death syndrome. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention website states that 55% of all adults, which is about 37.8 million people, are current smokers. One article notes that current smokers who are obese have an increased risk of death compared to non-smokers. Another article notes that 100 million deaths were caused by tobacco use in the 20th century, and it estimated that 1 billion deaths will occur from tobacco use in the 21st century. One article notes that asthmatics who quit smoking improved asthma biomarkers. The article also noted that after 6 weeks, the Cessation group noticed improvements in asthma control and lung function. A different article notes that in the United States, cigarettes kill about 480,000 people each year. It also notes that smoking is estimated to contribute to 30% of all cancer deaths each year. The NIH National Cancer Institute website defines smoking cessation as the act to quit smoking. It lowers the risk of cancer and other serious health problems. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention notes that the side effects of smoking cessation are related to the withdrawal of nicotine. These side effects include irritability, anger, anxiety, trouble thinking, craving of tobacco, and feeling hungrier, which leads to weight gain. One article from the Joanna Briggs Institute notes that each patient who wants to quit smoking needs to be assessed. Assessing the patient consists of assessing the intent to quit smoking, setting a quit date, learning more about cessation programs, current tobacco use, medication history, and smoking triggers and strategies that need to be overcome. There are ways to increase smoking cessation. These ways are implemented by others to help individuals to quit smoking. These ways include raising taxes on tobacco products, expanding smoke-free areas, banning advertisement in certain areas, using plain packaging, and running mass media campaigns against smoking. There are 2 interventions a person can implement to help them quit smoking. There is the psychosocial intervention, which refers to the psychological or social support mechanisms. The other is the pharmacological intervention, which includes medications and prescriptions that can help reduce smoking. These 2 interventions can be used separately, but the smoker would have a better chance of quitting if the interventions were combined. The psychological interventional aspect includes mental preparedness of the individual who is quitting smoking. These include counseling, telephone counseling, support groups, self-help books, and behavior therapy. The psychological aspect of smoking cessation is important to and tailored to each individual who is quitting smoking. The pharmacological intervention includes nicotine replacement therapy such as nicotine patches, gums, and lozenges. It also includes nicotine receptor partial agonists, varenicline and cysteine, and antidepressants such as bupropion and nortriptyline. One article notes that dextromethorphan, fluoxetine, nicotine replacement therapy, bupropion, and varenicline may lead to significant reduction in weight gain. The DNP would propose a plan using tertiary prevention for smoking cessation. The DNP works for a rural Alabama clinic who works alongside with physicians as a primary care provider. The DNP's proposed plan consists of an adult patient who presents to the clinic wanting to quit smoking. The target demographic is adults ranging from 18 years old and older. The program will consist of a 6-month period time frame. The DNP will recruit other professionals and organizations to aid in the proposed treatment plan. The DNP will propose a 6-month plan for quitting smoking to the patient. The 6-month timeline begins the day the patient is assessed. The first step will be delegated to the DNP's nurse to assess the patient for the readiness to quit smoking. The patient's assessment resulted that the patient is ready to quit smoking. The DNP will educate the patient on risk factors of smoking, showing videos of tar-filled lungs from smokers, information from pamphlets, etc. The DNP will consult a psychiatrist or counselor and will refer to the patient to one of them in order to assess the psychological aspect of quitting smoking by day 3. Day 7, after the patient has been psychologically cleared and the smoking cessation care plan will be implemented. The patient will continue to see the psychiatrist or counselor that meets their insurance or Medicare requirements. If the patient is not financially stable, free counseling will be utilized. The patient will be introduced to a support group and free telephone counseling for any immediate questions or needs to discuss any difficulties. The patient will start on financially obtainable medication. The DNP will consult local pharmacies to determine which medicines are most affordable for the patient. The patient will return to the clinic monthly for a total of 6 months. The patient will be assessed monthly to adjust any medications or options to quitting smoking. Counseling will be adjusted for the best interest of the patient. At the 6-month follow-up, the data will be analyzed to see if the patient has quit smoking altogether. The data will also consist of the improvement of the patient's lifestyle since quitting smoking. The DNP will recruit other professionals and support systems to aid in the treatment plan. The proposed plan will consist of the DNP as the leader, nurses, psychiatrists, and/or a counselor, support groups and telephone counseling, and pharmacies. The leadership competencies that will be exhibited by the DNP for the proposed plan will include communication, relationships, influence, problem solving, and integrity. Communication is effectively defining goals and listens to others. Relationships consist of building collaborative relationships with coworkers as well as external professionals and groups. The DNP uses influence to delegate tasks to other individuals within their scope of practice. Problem solving consists of timely developed decisions and creating and achieving solutions. Integrity is used by the DNP to follow through on promises of goals while making ethical considerations. One example includes a 45-year-old female presents to the clinic. She states that she is ready to stop smoking. She states that she has been smoking since she was 15 years old. All of her previous attempts at smoking cessation has failed. The patient states that she has been smoking for 30 years. She has tried various methods to quit smoking and has failed every attempt. She has expressed a serious desire to quit smoking. She stated that her ideal quit date that she wants to obtain is within the next 6 months. The patient will continue a smoking cessation through pharmacological methods. A prescription will be given to the patient based on her medication history and mental history. The medication will be taken as prescribed on a regular basis. The patient will not skip doses. The patient will begin her psychological aspects of the program. She will enter a support group that will help her find other smokers who are quitting or have already quit. She will have counseling through person or by telephone to help with any cravings or questions she may have. She will utilize any self-help books or programs to aid in her smoking cessation attempt. The results of the patient 6 months later are complete and analyzed by the DNP. The patient is smoke-free currently and has been for some time. The patient still has cravings for tobacco, but not nearly as much as when she first stopped smoking. The patient has decided to continue her support group and counseling sessions to help her continue to be smoke-free. The patient has agreed to wean off all medications that she has been prescribed for smoking cessation. While attempting cigarette smoking cessation, an individual must understand the risk factors and diseases associated with smoking. The side effects of quitting smoking must be learned so the individual will be prepared to recognize the side effects. Tertiary intervention is applied, which is the attempt at smoking cessation. The individual must verbalize their readiness to quit smoking. A proposed plan will be implemented. An assessment would then be used to determine this readiness. Psychosocial and pharmacological interventions would be applied in helping the individual to quit smoking. Once all these are implemented, the patient will obtain results. Yet it is up to the individual to ultimately quit smoking. Thank you.